Let's bring in Sharon Kaur. She is a liberal strategist. Sharon, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's start with this trip to Europe. What will the Prime Minister be looking to achieve?
So this is a yearly summit that takes place, and I think we're at a really pivotal and important time in, I would say, in our history and where we are in his mandate. And the things that he's going to be focusing on, I think, again, has a lot to do with where we stand with the U.S. Prime Minister Carney is looking outside of North America, specifically with the U.S. We know the U.S. is no longer a reliable trading partner. So this summit is going to serve as a, I would say, another springboard to have those conversations around other trading partners. It's an open dialogue discussion, but also things that are going to be discussed there are NATO spending. I think we heard a really important announcement from him a couple of weeks ago about meeting the 2% targets. So that will be part of the conversation. More parts of the conversation are also going to be things like specifically around what's happening in Ukraine. So there's a lot we're going to hear.
Now, this trip comes just as the House rises for the summer after a fairly short spring sitting. How would you grade the Prime Minister's first session of Parliament?
Sorry, I think my phone just lost us for a second here. But in terms of the first session of Parliament, I would say, listen, Bill C-5 that he just got through the House with the collaboration of the Conservatives, it's a really important bill. We are finally again seeing that we need to have some of our own protectionism here in Canada, whether it's within breaking down trade barriers within provinces, building projects. And a big part of this bill was building. So I would say C-5 was a really, really important moment. And the fact that they got that passed, I think we're going to see this summer where they spend more time having those conversations.
Now, the Prime Minister did face questions and concerns surrounding Bill C-5 and also surrounding, the fact that it went through so quickly before the summer. Was this the right move, or do you think they could pay politically down the road with concerns from the Indigenous population?
I think that given where we are in our space around trying to get things done, speed does matter. And I know that there was a lot of concerns around consultation. And we heard from a lot of the leaders, the Prime Minister was very, I would say, decisive in saying that they are going to be included in these conversations. So I think we have to be really careful in making sure that Indigenous communities are respected. But when we are in a place in time where we have to build things faster, the long consultation periods that have been on projects, and I can speak from experience having worked for the company that tried to build Energy East and Keystone, the consultation process, the way that we've had it in the past, it doesn't work. Nothing gets built. Companies don't want to build anything because they don't have assurances of things getting done quickly. C-5 is going to allow there to still be consultation, but to get things done in a quicker manner. And we will respect, and sorry, the government will respect, and I think industry and society has to respect Indigenous communities and all stakeholders in that process. We're just going to have to do it a bit differently.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Sharon, thank you very much for your time. That is Sharon Kaur. She is a liberal strategist.